At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time. Whenever news breaks, while we're on the air, it's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580. And we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. And I thank you, thank you.
All's my life I has to fight. All's my life hard times like bad trips like Nazareth, I'm f***ed up, homie, you f***ed up. But if God got us, then we gon' be alright.
We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Huh? We gon' be alright. We gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright.
And when I wake up, I recognize you looking at me for the pay cut. Bahamas, I be looking at you from the face down. One Mac 11, even boom with the bass down. Skimming, and let me tell you about my life. Painkillers only put me in the twilight. But pretty Benjamin is the highlight. I tell my mama I love her, but this what I like. Lord knows, 20 of them in my Chevy. Tell them all to come and get me, reaping everything I sow. So my karma come in heaven, no preliminary hearings on my record. I'm a gangster in silence for the record. Tell the world I know it's too late. Boys and girls, I think I've gone great. Trying to side my face, it's all day.
You are listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, your host and White House correspondent. And I'm here to say, like Kendrick said, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. It's a lot happening in the world. It's a lot of headlines that are swirling. There's a lot happening in our communities and on our streets. But I believe we're going to be all right. And we're going to be all right. You know why we're going to be all right? Because whatever this is, we're going to get to the other side of it together. That's how I know we're going to be all right. You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm in touch, and so you be in touch. Follow me on all the social media platforms at Dr. Nii-Quartelai. All you got to do is type in Dr. Nii-Q, DRNIIQ. And there I am, fresh for you to follow. If you haven't already, download the KBLA app to listen to us live or on demand, or you can tell Alexa to play KBLA Talk 1580, and there you have it. Subscribe to A More Perfect Union podcast. Subscribe, and that way you will never miss an episode. Now, listen. It's time for your national news roundup. It's time for your second dose of the good, bad, and ugly headlines of the day. Kicking us off in Atlanta, Georgia, USA Today is reporting that Beyonce's unreleased music is stolen during an Atlanta tour stop. That's what a police report is saying. Atlanta police are investigating after an unidentified suspect stole Beyonce's unreleased music, plans for show footage, and past and future set lists. That's according to this police report. Beyonce, who was in Atlanta for her Cowboy Carter tour, kicked off her first show in the city 48 hours after her choreographer and one of her dancers say that several sensitive items were stolen from their rental car. According to the police report obtained by USA Today, Christopher Grant and DeAndre Blue told Atlanta police that they parked their black rental Jeep Wagoneer in a parking deck around 8:09 p.m. When they returned, they discovered the trunk window had been damaged and someone had stolen 2 of their suitcases. Grant and Blue also reported clothes and designer glasses and laptops and a pair of AirPods Max headphones were taken from the vehicle in the July 8th incident. We haven't heard anything from Beyonce's rep, but certainly if y'all know something, report it to the Atlanta police. The Cowboy Carter creator is scheduled to perform the final Atlanta show tonight in Atlanta. But it's really unfortunate because I know, according to at least social media, a lot of people were, absolutely enchanted at the Atlanta show. A lot of people have been enchanted at just about every show. Beyonce is just next level, otherworldly, and as a performer. And so it's unfortunate that this happened, that this pulls focus from what has otherwise been, a pretty successful tour run. But if anybody knows anything in Atlanta, call the police. If you see something, say something. All right. In other news, it is very interesting that in New York City, a lot of people have been saying a lot of things about Zohran Mamdani, about whether or not his campaign has the power to win in a general election, whether or not he's too far to the left. Well, there ain't nothing about this issue that's too far to the left. Zohran Mamdani's campaign proposes free childcare, but the question is it finally a winning policy? The Guardian is reporting that Zohran Mamdani's campaign, when the campaign on a platform of affordability proposed free childcare for children aged 6 years old and older, it's made a lot of people feel that the pain that they had experienced has not gone unnoticed. Mamdani, the 33-year-old state assembly member who won the Democratic primary in New York City for mayor just last month, has put forth a variety of kid and family-focused ideas, including distributing baby baskets containing formula and postpartum supplies to new parents, building up mental health infrastructure in schools, and closing off high-traffic streets adjacent to school zones. But what's garnered the most attention is his promise of free childcare, a system he plans to fund by raising taxes on corporations and the city's richest residents. As he told supporters in his victory speech, quotes, "We have won because New Yorkers have stood up for a city they can afford, a city where they can do more than just struggle, where childcare doesn't cost more than college." And so, a lot of people are paying attention to this race for New York mayor. It is a bellwether race, and you better believe it is a blueprint of sorts for what you could expect Democrats to run on in the midterm elections next year. And so, I know that was one of the popular proposals in Biden's Build Back Better legislation that unfortunately did not pass Congress. But childcare is expensive out there. For my friends with kids, when they tell me how much they pay for childcare, I do a double take. And it's not like you get much of a discount for having multiple children. I'm like, oh, okay, you got 2 kids, do you get a discount? And they're like, no, we don't get no discount. It's times 2. And so good luck to Mr. Mamdani, and good luck to the New Yorkers out there that are looking to make a statement affirming affordability in one of the nation's most expensive cities. Now, in other news and entertainment news, what can't Tiana Taylor do? Well, the Griot is reporting that Tiana Taylor, she shares what led her to enroll in culinary school, saying that, quote, she was the hood Betty Crocker in Harlem. Tiana Taylor is cooking up her latest dream in the kitchen. On Friday, the 34-year-old singer and actress revealed that she recently enrolled in culinary school, fulfilling a long-time dream of hers. In an Instagram post that included a video of her dressed in her culinary school uniform, chef and all, dancing with her 9-year-old daughter, Iman, as Glorilla's hit Let Her Cook played. The R&B star shared how cooking has been her lifelong passion, saying, quote, she went to her first day of culinary school with a bang. Shout out to my Twisky, Junebug. Wow, it really happened. A dream I've carried in my heart for so long is finally becoming a reality, and I'm feeling every bit of it. That's how she began the post caption. And so congratulations to Tiana Taylor. Just another example that, just because you may be famous for one thing, it doesn't mean that you don't have other talents or other interests or the ability to be great in other ways as well. When we come forward, we're switching gears. I'm really looking forward to welcoming Noel Massey. For folks in Los Angeles, he's no stranger. You have seen him, and chances are you've probably been to some event that has honored his work over the years. Well, now he is the author of Congrats, You've Been Promoted, an essential guide for helping new leaders and their teams succeed. I am delighted to talk to him about his new book and get his fresh take on a few trending headlines. When we come forward, Noel Massey will be joining us here for the first time on A More Perfect Union.
You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Fabrice.
Fabric Talk. Hello, my love. I am your living room carpet. I see everything. I feel everything. After a while, I smell like everything, including Sir Pickles, who you snuggle with while binging that dating show you can't stop watching. So, how about we freshen things up with Fabrice Fabric Spray? Ooh, and a big spray for my pals, couch and ottoman. Ah, yes, refreshing. Breathe happy, Fabrice. La 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 la.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Break out the champagne. Everybody get a glass.
Tavis Smiley is now ranked number 16 nationally and the highest rated talk show hosted by an African American on the 2025 Talkers Heavy 100 list of the most important talk radio hosts in the nation. Last year, Tavis ranked number 33 and the year before, number 45. The Tavis Smiley Show has rapidly expanded its national syndication to now include nearly 50 radio stations across the country and counting. Congratulations, Tavis.
Yeah.
We have no permanent friends or permanent enemies. Only permanent interests. As we effort to build a more perfect union.
You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, and it's such a joy to be able to be in conversation with Noel Massey. He is a community leader that I have long admired, long before I returned to journalism. When I was doing public affairs work in LA, when Noel Massey's name came up, it's like people stood up straight, because they knew that he was a lighthouse in the community, very generous philanthropist. And now he's taking all of that wisdom, all of that high regard that people have for him. He's channeling that into this really neat new book. It's called Congrats, You've Been Promoted, an essential guide for helping new leaders and their teams succeed. Of course, he knows a little bit about success, having worked at UPS for so many years as an executive. He is the former vice president of operations at UPS and has had a consequential 6-decade career, so he knows what he's talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Noel Massey to the show.
Hey, Dr. Quartey, I am very happy to be here on your show today. I love being on podcasts or radio shows with enthusiastic hosts. and you get a double A. You get a double A. So I'm really pleased to be here with you and your audience today.
Well, we're really pleased to have you and to really dig into, some extraordinary conversations that are built into this book. Let me just say, I think there are a lot of entrepreneurs in our community. And part of what I recognize is that entrepreneurs don't always get the same kind of access to professional development as folks who may work for an employer. Right. And so I think your book, based on the way that you've laid out this book, it's good for employees. It's good for entrepreneurs. It's good for students that are just coming into the workforce. Talk to me about the origin story. When you put together this book, were you expecting to cast that wide a net to have that kind of appeal more broadly? Or were you writing this book for someone specific in mind?
I guess I'll answer that from a couple of dimensions, Doctor. That when I ideated this book about a decade ago, candidly, in terms of knowing I was going to do it. And that just came from my own personal professional experience at the time where so many millennials were ascending to positions of leadership. Now, of course, that's Gen Z, right? And I had, as the U.S. Vice President of Delivery Operations, 17 business units, 17 presidents that relied on me for many, many things. And one of them was succession planning, let alone the tactical side, of the business. But we were losing some very important knowledge in our baby boomer base, right? They were retiring and we were promoting people left and right into frontline positions much faster than we had anticipated. And so that was the impetus and the enzyme for the book. But as you brought up so intuitively, the focus of the content is about leadership development. And the individuals responsible for that are going to be the senior executives, the business owners, et cetera, right? So they have someone driving a forklift on Monday, doing a great job. They've been there for a while. And then all of a sudden they need someone to lead the team of 12 forklift drivers. And they say, well, Dr. Quartey, you're the best we got. Congrats, you're promoted. Mm-hmm. We're going to put you over these 12 people. And that's great. And you get patted on the back and, you're thrilled at ascending through the organization. But it's a sink or swim moment because no one's going to show up the next day saying, let's talk about what leadership looks like. Mm-hmm. And I saw derailment happen in the first couple of years of the career of the newly promoted person, even mm-hmm. after all the investment had been made. In my mind, that was just time lost that we could have prevented potentially by just investing more in the person. So the book is really about the things you opened with, and that it's broad. And I knew it would be. I knew it would be, to answer your question. And so it's really actually turned into that. I have been on a number of podcasts at the book launch from June 3rd. And I have been contacted by numbers of small business owners. And part of the reason for that is when they hear me speak, I talk about how, as a president for 5 different business units, I would meet with 150 to 200 entrepreneurs yearly, not just the big shippers. Of course, I met with the Costco's and the QVCs and the Cardinal Healths and all that kind of stuff. Particularly when I was in Atlanta as with a responsibility for US, I met with them. But as you mentioned, the small business owner is generally in that environment because they had an idea, they were good at something, they opened a restaurant or started online shipping with some product that they were importing, whatever. And I would go into those small businesses and see zero development for the frontline individual. And I would talk to the business owner about turnover, and it was always about the leadership. Turnover was always high. So I knew the book would appeal to that cohort of individuals as well as to corporate individuals, and it's turned into exactly that.
No, I mean, I think that's extraordinary. I think it's very much needed. Just as you were talking, you made me wonder, well, what's Noel's distinction between leadership and management? Because I think there are a number of people out there that use leadership and management interchangeably, and they're not the same. And I think that that confusion can sometimes get in the way of folks' leadership journey.
Oh my goodness, yes. They're nothing the same. Unfortunately, we title the person in charge as the manager, and it's really a misnomer about the true responsibilities of the position. Development is the primary role of the leader. It's the primary role. And when you think about how people go to college and they get degrees and MBAs, and there's not one of them out there where you say, what are you going to master in? Leadership. I want an MBA in leadership. Or when you're talking to a young high schooler who's going to go to college, what's your degree study going to be in? Leadership. Okay. But here's a universal application. I don't care if it's a donut shop, a law firm, a hospital, doesn't matter. At some point, someone's the leader. In all aspects of enterprise, there is a leader. And it is not to manage people, it's to lead them. A good thing I heard years ago is, if you were going to be engaged in something, it could be a football team. The head coach doesn't go, I'm going to manage you into the game. No, he's going to lead them, right? That's what it is. And, sports is a great example of this whole thought you just broached, because they have to spend most of their time developing the players. They're not going to just get all stars or all pros at every position. They have to turn their team into that. They have to turn individuals into that. It's no different in business. It's not even a little bit. It's the same thing. As a leader, you have to intentionally, and you're going to hear me say that a lot, you have to intentionally lead your team. And you have to intentionally set the terms and conditions of value-based leadership in front of your team. They need to know what that even means. And so, that being said, the point you just made is exactly a critical piece for entrepreneurs to understand.
It is a super critical piece. I mean, big part of my work as an academic is focused on leadership, right? Critical approaches to leadership, organizational leadership. And in your book, you talk a lot about establishing trust with your teams. I think one of the most important things that any leader can do is establish that trust. And that means you got to be attentive to, what's happening, not just in people's work life, but what's happening in their community, what's happening in their personal life that may be preventing them from being as productive or as creative or as innovative as they can be. But talk to us about very broad strokes, the nuggets that you're hoping people walk away with, particularly when you talk about establishing trust in your book.
So I want to start with a comment you heard me make a minute ago, a phrase, terms and conditions. So in the book, I talk about the terms and conditions of value-based leadership. It's throughout the book. and I broach a number of topics: integrity, ethics, fairness, trust. I talk about each one of those particular things in part one of the book, and I explain them to the reader in a way that's tangible so they can digest what that even is, right? Trust is a big word. People throw it around loosely, but the fact of the matter is it's one of the most difficult things to establish with a team because it takes the longest to do. Okay. And so I talk about how to do that and why the dimension of trust looks the way it looks. And so I know we're going to be going to break here in a minute. So I'm gonna pause.
Okay, well, we're going to pick up where you leave off there. And also, when we come forward, I want to talk to you about the consequences of an organization for failure to develop new leaders. There are a lot of folks out there that don't feel like they are being given a shot to just grow, to demonstrate what they're capable of. And oftentimes out of frustration, they take their innovation, their energy, their interest elsewhere. And so, for all of our leaders, learners, and listeners that are tapped in, you don't want to miss the next part of my conversation here with author Noel Massey. Go out and get his book. It's called Congrats, You've Been Promoted. And it is really an essential guide for helping new leaders and their teams succeed. He knows a lot about success because he's had a lot of success at UPS and other places over the course of 60 years. He's seen some things. He knows some things. And when we come forward, he's going to share some more things. You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
The audience is listening, thought-provoking, eye-opening, heart-rendering. This is where authentic voices meet powerful discussions on culture, community, and change. This is where Black voices matter. He's breaking boundaries, amplifying diverse perspectives, and tackling the issues that matter most to you. You're inside A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Andrew Cuomo is officially running for New York City mayor as an independent.
The general election is in November, and I am in it to win it.
Cuomo, who lost the primary, says his focus will be lower rents, safer streets, and affordable childcare. He'll face current Black Mayor Eric Adams, Jim Walden, and Republican Curtis Sliwa in November. The Supreme Court has cleared the way for the Trump administration to resume mass layoffs at the Department of Education. In a 6-3 ruling, all three liberal justices, including Black Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, dissented, calling the decision indefensible. The move is seen as a major win for Trump as he pushes to dismantle the department. And President Trump is slamming a new bill from Michigan Senator Elissa Slotkin that would require ICE and other immigration officers to identify themselves and not wear masks. He claims Slotkin and co-sponsors Cory Booker, who is Black, and Alex Padilla, quote, hate our country, end quote. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Some good news in Baker for the 15 northbound approaching Baker. That is the scene of an earlier big rig fire. Traffic was stopped for a very long time. They had northbound lanes closed, but since they have reopened a couple of lanes, Highway Patrol confirmed that it's the center divider and the left lane that are now open just outside of Baker. As a result, we're still seeing these huge delays backing up. So it's going to take you a little while. Southbound also slowing from about Highway 127 to the scene of this big rig. Now we're also looking at Pasadena. It's the 210 eastbound at the 134. With a crash, it's out of lanes in the center divider and delays backing up from Almost Mountain.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
LeBron has been a little sensitive lately about his status with the Lakers. LeBron signed a one-year player option 2 weeks ago for $52.6 million to stay with the Lakers, but all kinds of rumors and rumblings have been circulating that the Lakers might be trying to trade him. LeBron's agent Rich Paul told NBA sources that at least 4 teams had contacted the Lakers to inquire if LeBron is available. LeBron was in Las Vegas over the weekend to watch his son Bronny play in the Summer League. ESPN is televising the games. A reporter from ESPN asked LeBron if he would join the broadcast to talk about his offseason. LeBron said no and told the reporter, and I quote, "I ain't got nothing to talk about." It's obvious something is not right between LeBron and the Lakers front office. After re-signing with the Lakers, Paul said LeBron will be monitoring the Lakers' moves in the offseason and that he wants to finish his career with a contending team. Stay tuned. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time. Whenever news breaks, while we're on the air, it's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580. And we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986, litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least like to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Hit me.
National news of consequence, informed opinion, and analysis beyond the headlines. You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, and he is author Noel Massey. You got to go out and check out his book. It's called Congrats, You've Been Promoted. It's an essential guide for helping new leaders and their teams succeed. If you're looking for the perfect gift for anybody who's starting off their leadership journey or looking to start it off on the right foot, then this is a great gift to give. In fact, I would say it's probably the gift that keeps on giving. Mr. Massey, before the break, we were talking about trust, and you were making a point that establishing trust is one of the hardest things to do, but it's also one of the most important things to do. It takes time. You don't want that instant oatmeal trust, right? That's right. You want to put this in hot water and make sure it's battle tested. But talk to us about some of the consequences that you've seen in your 6 decades in the workforce when organizations fail to develop new leaders. I can tell you there are a number of folks out there during performance reviews, for example. They done all this stuff all year long. They according to their ledger, they've gone above and beyond. And when they get that performance review back and it says meets expectation, it's deflating for a lot of folks, right? It makes them want to run and cover, if not just run away. And so talk to us about the consequences of failing to develop new leaders.
So I want to digress and go back to this trust conversation we had, because I don't want to let how to do that pass. So when you think about the dimension of trust, when you meet someone, and they could be someone if you have children or whatever, right? And they're going to watch your kids. Well, you got to have someone do it. So you interview them and you figure out what the best path is to do that. And if I were to ask anyone that had that situation occur, do you trust that person? On day one, the answer is I don't distrust them.
Mm-hmm.
They have to earn my trust. That's exactly right. Trust is earned, and it takes time to earn it. But the key aspect of earning trust is letting the people who you are speaking to, who report to you, who work in your business, that at all times you will keep your word. And you can't believe they're just going to know that. It has to be intentionally said, because it holds you accountable as well. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I would do with employees in a moment, I didn't walk around saying this every 5 minutes, but if it was an important issue and we were talking about it, I would always let employees know I would keep my word. I'd say to them, you have my word. It could be a paycheck problem. It could be I was going to look into something for them. Whatever it was, I would say, John, you have my word. But that worked in reverse too, Dr. Quartey. When something was going on with a customer, and I say, hey, Sue, we really need to make sure X, Y, and Z happens for this client today. Can you accomplish that? And she goes, sure, no, got it. I say, no, give me your word, Sue, that you got this. And Sue would say, you have my word. And whenever that's exchanged between two people, trust begins to develop. You have to develop it. And the same thing happens with integrity or ethics. It has to be intentional. If you take over a team in the meeting, when you meet with the team, the first thing they want to know is, who are you? What are you about? Here's what I'm about, team. Integrity is important, and we will always have it. Days may not go right. Things may not go right all the time. But let me tell you, the day we're never going to have the day we're never having is a day that lacks integrity. We're never having that day. Ethics. We're going to be ethical. We're going to have honorable conduct towards others and each other. And that's being ethical. Ethical behavior means honorable conduct. And when the leader intentionally announces these things with the team, when they make them important, not just on Monday, but this is how we're going to roll. And when issues come up, that's the bar. Is it ethical? Because if it's not, we're not doing it. Understand. And the team knows it. Everyone has the same intentionality when the leader leads it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to digress to that, but you talked about people with performance reviews. And they're getting performance reviews that look very different than the work they believe they're doing. Then what I would say the problem there is between both parties is there's not an ongoing dialogue regularly. It's about every 3 months or every 6 months. That doesn't work. It never has worked, and the day's not showing up where it does work.
Or no, I would add, if there is a dialogue, it may not be honest, which is starting to sort of fray the trust, right? I mean,
that's correct. That's correct.
Think about it.
I think people can feel that, Dr. Quartey, when it's less than honest. When it's less than fair, when it's less than those things, people can feel it, and transparency matters. And what I would always say is always have character in the most important moments. What does that even mean? Character is the ability. Character is the ability to make a worthy decision once the emotion of that decision has passed, when it's well thought through, because words matter. And so to the point you were making, a lot of the things that happen in the workplace, the reason they happen is because they're not intentionally led. They're not intentionally talked about. the review. So Dr. Quartey, we're going to have a review. What are the things you want to discuss in this review? It's not just a one-way street. What do you want to discuss in this review? And it's a development review. It can't be an attack. It can't be the type of thing that doesn't lift the person up, because feedback's important in both ways. How can I help you? How can you benefit from my involvement in your development? Those are very important, intentional things.
Mm-hmm. They are. And what's also very important, and you talk about this in your book. You talk about the BEST principles, BEST, the best principle to keep discussions with employees focused and positive. And so,
correct.
For again, our leaders, learners, and listeners out there, whether you are, leading a unit or you're managing people, right? Talk to us about what this BEST principle is all about, and how maybe keeping these conversations with employees positive, how that can operate in service of building trust over time.
The principles in the book are designed to give the business owner or the leader congruence in how they see something, right? You read it, I read it. We sit down and talk about the BEST principle. Now we have congruence. But the BEST principle stands for, in any engagement, whether you're training a new employee, doing a feedback assessment, doesn't matter. Be specific. Why are we having this meeting? What's the intention? It's to develop you. It's to make you a better leader. Okay. Expect the best. I know this engagement is going to go very well. Using optimism as a foundation. Stick to the objective. Don't let whatever the topic is waver to something else. Okay. We're here to talk about this. So allowing the conversation to be in some other regard, something different is going to ruin the purpose of the meeting. And then test commitment. When it's all said and done, do we both understand the agreements that we reached in this moment? That's what the BEST principle is. And it fits into training, performance reviews, conflict resolution. It's a frame. It's like a picture frame. And the other components go inside of it. Training, performance reviews, conflict resolution. But that BEST principle is a frame for all conversations you're going to have with employees, with your boss. Doesn't matter. That's what it is.
Well, I said I had a whole conversation on mute. So I was wondering. I said, Mr. Massey ain't giving me no facial expression. What's going on, right?
Hey, technology. What are you gonna do?
Technology. It's all right. It's all right. I'll repeat myself. I was so exercised too. You're like, wow, he's really feeling that. I just can't hear him. No, so Mr. Massey, I was pointing out that for our audience that may be less familiar, you rose through the ranks and became vice president of UPS's U.S. delivery operations before your retirement in 2019. People should know you oversaw 200,000 employees who were led by 12,000 supervisors. There are a lot of folks out there that may not think of themselves as a people person, as you do, as we feel. and have felt over the years encountering you and your work, what's your parting bit of advice to this next generation of leaders who've been called to step up, who often may not get it right when it comes to engaging their team as people? What's your advice to them?
My advice is develop yourself. You know, one of the things, I have 6 mentees, half a dozen mentees, and women, men, a couple of folks that are doing well in their careers. But everyone needs a coach. Even Michael Jordan and Kobe had a coach. But the day you think you don't need feedback and a coach, then is the day that you have made a grave error in judgment. Everyone needs a coach. Mentoring is really important. And I was blessed to have some great mentors, right? And being a black man, when I was 20 something years old, I had others reach down to me and give me coaching. And understanding that there wasn't a lot of us in leadership positions when I was in my 20s, you know, for crying out loud. And that responsibility of being mentored falls on the shoulders of the mentee as much as it does the person looking to be a mentor. And the most important part about a mentor-mentee relationship is you're not there for any other reason than to help the person get better at something. And whatever that something is, they need to bring that to the table at the end of the day, right? You know, when it's all said and done, you're going to be gauged on what you do and what you're effective at, right? You know, it's just like sports. And I love using metaphors, and you'll see that in my book, that I talk about the use of metaphors a lot. They're important because they disarm employees when you use metaphors. They disarm conversations. But let me tell you who's going to be called upon to shoot the three-pointer for the Lakers and the Knicks when it's time and the game's winding down and we got to have a three-pointer. You know who's going to be? The best three-point shooter. They're not going to care what that person looks like. They're not going to care what that person's background is. They're going to say, right now, this is the best three-point shooter we have. Give them the ball. Okay? You want to be that person in your company. You want to be the person known for being able to navigate the environment you work in effectively every single day. If it's an auto shop, if it's an aerospace company, are you good at what you do? And what does good look like when it comes to metrics, right? That matters. And it matters a lot so that you're gauging your own effectiveness versus other people doing it for you. So leadership development is about taking ownership personally. And I always did that. But when I would meet with my mentors, I'd say, we're not here, and especially as I became more mature, tell me what you think I can be better at, and tell me some things I need to modify. And they would do that. And then I would look at that particular critical skill and I would study it, read it. I mean, you're an educator, you get all that. I would do those things, particularly when it came to communication. And I want to leave this piece in your listeners' minds as well. This phrase: you can't hope to get more than you give. Okay. If you want to be great at communication, you need to invest in doing that. You can't say, I don't rehearse, I don't use the mirror, I don't record myself presenting information, but I'm going to be great at doing it. It doesn't work like that. And the fact of the matter is that if you look at the people that really end up being leaders in organizations, there's one unique thing they all do the same. They communicate well. They're not in conversations with every other word being like and all those word fillers. They're able to fluidly have a conversation, which is influencing behavior. Because leadership is the ability to influence the behavior of a group or an individual without coercion. That's what it is. It's because they believe in what you're saying. They want to support the conversation you're having. So that's what leadership is. It's the ability to influence behavior. So you have to spend time understanding what creates influence. Metaphors are a really good way to do that, but nothing replaces communication and what it takes to be good at doing it. And you can't just be a casual tourist and think that you're just going to one day become a great communicator. It just doesn't work like that. So investing in your individual talents isn't the company's job. Isn't the business owner's job.
Mm-hmm.
It's your job.
That's right.
And you have to be able to look at yourself and say, I am working hard on that. And I did that as a young person when I was in my 20s. I was an electrical engineering student, science major. And I met this Russian individual when I was in an internship at IBM who had this heavy accent. But everyone knew this guy was the smartest guy on the block. He had enough credits for 3 PhDs. Everyone knew Manfred Dreblow was the smartest guy in the lab. But Manfred sat down with me personally once, and he said, no. And he asked me what my goals were, all this stuff. And he says, listen, what's your major? And I told him. He said, what's your minor? And it was physics. He says, let me help you with something, kid. The smartest people in the lab aren't going to be the ones who run the lab. It's going to be the people who have the best communication abilities. And I went back to school the next day, literally, and changed my minor to speech communications.
Mr. Massey, I want you to hold right there. I want to keep you around just a little bit longer, more with author Noel Massey, author of the book, Congrats, You've Been Promoted. You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
Striving to make America a nation as good as its promise. This is A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
During this time, it's important for everyone to know your rights. The 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments in the U.S. Constitution protects every one of us, regardless of immigration status. The 4th Amendment requires a judicial warrant to search your home. The 5th protects your right to remain silent, and the 6th gives you the right to an attorney. Just remember,
No warrant, no key, my privacy. You don't have to speak. No lawyer inside. Don't say a thing. Yeah, we all got rights.
Hey, we all got rights.
It's never too early to start talking about money in realistic ways with your kids. JP Morgan Chase navigates how to educate your kids now about creating long-lasting, healthy money habits. Whether your kids are in elementary school, high school, or college, now is a great time to start a conversation about ways to create healthy money habits as they grow, ultimately benefiting their financial future. Talking about money in a realistic way to support your kids' lifestyle and dreams, your first banking account geared towards high school or college. It's never too early. Explaining the basics, what you earn and what you spend, building financial confidence starts with getting organized. Learning and practicing vital money skills now will stay with them for life. Tools they will have to stay on top of their finances and achieve their goals. This segment is sponsored by JP Morgan Chase.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Notable journalists, industry leaders, lawmakers, change makers, tastemakers, and you working to build a more perfect union on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I have thoroughly enjoyed our conversation with the great Noel Massey. He is the author of Congrats, You've Been Promoted, an essential guide for helping new leaders and their teams succeed. Again, if you're on your leadership journey or you know somebody that is, this is a great gift to give. In our remaining minutes, Mr. Massey, there's been a lot of talk about essence the Essence Festival, and there's some operational stuff that just didn't work out there, pulled focus for a number of people. The internet streets have been all over the folks over at Essence. What advice would you give to the CEO of Essence, Rich Ludenis, as he is clearly fanning out, talking to the press, and trying to communicate that Essence hears folks and will do better? What advice would you offer him in about a minute?
I'd say to him, what is your intention? What do you want accomplished in the community or in the audience with the loud voice that's given to you? And then how are you articulating that intention and staying focused on that intention and not allowing the noise and the white noise that's outside to ruin what you specifically want to get accomplished? And that being said, optimism is important. When people look at leaders, they don't really want the leader to be shaken in any way, shape, or form. I had that role a lot in my career where there could be a hurricane, there could be an earthquake, and I've been through all of that. Like the floods we just had in Tennessee, I've been through all of that.
Yeah.
Very dire circumstances. What I was called upon to do was to make sure the people under me had an optimistic outlook on where we're headed.
Yeah.
That was it. So it doesn't matter what leadership role you have. Optimism to the team is going to come from the person at the top, because this is how it works, Doctor. Culture.
We'll have to leave it there. We'll leave it there in our remaining 30 seconds. But we'll have to have you back on, because this book is so rich, and my Pepperdine students are going to get a treat having Noel Massey come and talk more about the book there. We'll have to leave it there. My thanks to the entire village that helps us produce A More Perfect Union. Our executive producer, Tavis Smiley, our show producers, Faraji and Art, our sound engineer, Brother Andy, and of course, each and every one of you, of our leaders, learners, and listeners, we thank you. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey. You've been listening to and streaming A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. Our thanks to author Noel Massey. Congrats, you've been promoted. Go pick it up.
Thanks.
Expression in America. And Black New York City Mayor Eric Adams is opening 11 new schoolyards as part of New York